Thanksgiving is the time of year where you give thanks for the things in your life. Yet last year, there was one family that didn't have a lot to appreciate. They didn't even have a home. When one local woman discovered their situation, she did something remarkable. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Olivia and her husband Eric had 3 children aged 5, 1, and a newborn baby. But what is startling is that they didn't have a permanent home. The family spent much of their time on the road in the hope of finding better work opportunities. They traveled around in an old school bus, but they rejigged it on the inside to make it accessible for the 5 of them. Finally, having had no luck in Missouri for work, the family packed up and found themselves in Colorado around Thanksgiving time. They had been told there were plenty of jobs here, so they could not risk losing this chance. However, a string of bad luck meant that Olivia and Eric were unable to find any work whatsoever. Olivia was now heavily pregnant, and Eric's wallet was stolen, so they were well and truly in a sticky situation. What's more, money was at its tightest and they were no longer able to afford RV sites to park the bus. What were they going to do? Hope was lost, it seemed. The couple were left with no other option but to start selling their belongings to get some cash, but unfortunately this just wasn't enough. They couldn't even afford enough food for themselves, and to make matters even worse, Olivia was breastfeeding her youngest child at the time. This was worrisome. Then, on Thanksgiving, the family found themselves in a truly desperate situation. When other families were enjoying huge, gluttonous meals, Olivia and Eric were sitting in their broken-down vehicle by a truck stop in Colorado. It felt in those moments as if they were totally alone in the world. Yet little did they know that somebody had noticed them. And instead of ignoring the family, the stranger decided to approach them. Her name was Virginia Kinch. Kinch was a local mom who makes it her mission on Thanksgiving to help others. She and her daughters had been delivering plates of food to homeless people in the area when they spotted Olivia's family living in the old school bus. During this time, the weather was bad and getting worse, and Kinch was very worried about the family, especially the kids, as they had nothing to keep them warm, not even any food. Plenty of other people in the community had ignored this bus in favor of their own Thanksgiving celebrations, but not Kinch. Kinch discussed the situation with her daughters and decided on a plan of action. She had something that could seriously help the family in need. They didn't have anywhere to live, but Kinch had an idea. Kinch had a second house that she was planning on renting out or selling, but at that time it was empty, and she couldn't think of any better use for it than to house Olivia and her desperate family. This was the ultimate Thanksgiving gift. So she drove down to find the family to tell them her offer. Utterly amazed and paralyzed in disbelief, Olivia couldn't believe what Kinch was offering her family. "I thought it was a prank. That was my mindset because nobody does that," Olivia told local newspaper Times Call. But Kinch was not joking around. She meant business. "We just couldn't leave them like that, those little babies in the cold," she said. The homeless family accepted the generous offer humbly from the total stranger, and they even went round to Kinch's house for dinner. Then the family officially moved into the empty house in Greeley, and they finally had a home for the holidays. They just could not believe their luck and the unconditional love from this woman. How could they repay her? But Kinch had more up her sleeve. She even asked around the neighborhood for donations to help the homeless family even more. To the family's sheer surprise, many kind locals rallied round and gave food, furniture, and spare clothes, making it even more of a merrier season than Olivia, Eric, and their children could have ever imagined. As all of his IDs had been stolen, Eric needed to get them back but didn't know how he could go about doing so. Well, the local church stepped in and soon he received replacements, while Olivia was able to find the kids' daycare. Now she could actually focus her time applying for jobs and attending interviews. Finally, for the first time, things were looking up for the family. Only days before, they wondered if they would be able to feed their kids. Olivia told Times Call how grateful she was that Kinch bothered to help them. "It can be really difficult to get out of homelessness. People don't understand that it's so unstable. It's so hard to get your footing and get out of it," Olivia said. She even described Kinch as an angel who really had a part to play in saving her life and her children's. Olivia and her family were told that they were welcome to stay in the house until they were back on their feet. In the meantime, Kinch set up a GoFundMe page to help with the financial side of supporting family. But it turns out that there was an even bigger plan underway. This spurred on a dream for Kinch, who wanted to be able to help other families in the same unfortunate situation. Her plan was, with the help of the fundraising page, to raise enough cash to turn Kinch's second home into a baby angel house, which would provide a safe space for homeless babies to stay in the future. Finch wrote on the fundraising page, "Let's partner to help babies get out of the cold. We could be saving these babies' lives." So far, the message has been heard loud and clear, and the page has raised a total of $5,953, which is a great start to help Finch to support other families in need when the time comes. The news of Finch's good deed went viral, with local news stations picking up the story. This story spread, helping to raise awareness and money for those in need. If it wasn't for giving people like Finch, it doesn't bear thinking about what could have happened to that poor family.